What's up, guys, and welcome to this. This is your SOS Wrestletalk's WWE 2024 Royal Rumble pay-per-view review. I'm your host, LK, looking forward to bringing you this one. Make sure you hit the like button, drop a comment on your thoughts and opinions on this pay-per-view, as well as obviously hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button to know when each and every video gets dropped into your subscription boxes. Hey, I'm going to give this show, as always, guys, make sure you let us know in the comments, do you give the show a thumbs up, thumbs down, or thumbs in the middle? I'm gonna go thumbs in the middle. I haven't been online yet, so I woke up this morning really early to watch this pay-per-view. I didn't stay up and watch it live last night because it was on till 5 a.m. in the morning, and that's something I'm not going to commit myself to. So I woke up at about 7 a.m. and I literally just got finished watching the show. So this is just my initial thoughts. I haven't watched the press conference, I haven't done anything like that. It's just literally straight off watching the show, straight on here making this video. And I'm going thumbs in the middle. I was really looking forward to this. I'm going to say to the point where on Saturday and Friday, the week leading in, and obviously if you heard my pay-per-view preview and predictions video, I was looking forward to this. I actually was, and you know, we've had some really good wrestling shows recently. Raw was alright, TNA Impact was really good on Thursday. Check out that review. New Japan's doing some good stuff, obviously due to Okada leaving. So he's kind of wrapping up there, and there's been some good stuff with Narita and Yamino. So yeah, I've watched really good wrestling recently. And I turned this on, and you can't be like, oh, it's because you had watched it really early in the morning. No, that's not true. That's the time I always get up. And I was just so not underwhelmed. I felt that the crowd didn't help, and I don't know if that's because the crowd were quiet or because it's in a stadium. And sometimes the sound in a stadium does correlate differently on a TV show. It doesn't sound as good as when you're kind of in a smaller arena, but it just, the crowd kind of lacked energy, lacked those big pops that you were kind of expecting. And it's the Rumble, so you know, the road to WrestleMania, and I felt the crowd really weren't that big into it. But again, that just could be how it came across on TV in the building. That could have been absolutely electric. But we're going to break this show down. No kickoff matches, which I'm not going to complain about. So I'm going to go match by match. Women's Royal Rumble start off. So we have Bayley winning this year's Women's Royal Rumble. She'll be main eventing WrestleMania. Well, probably not, but she'll be wrestling in WrestleMania 40 for the Women's Championship. Presumably she's going to face Io Sky in a Damage Control versus Damage Control feud, which I'm all for. I'll break down I'm not going to tell you who got eliminated by who. I'm just going to tell you the entrance, and we'll kind of go from there. So Natalya starts off. Naomi is the second entrance. That means on Thursday, Trinity had a final match in TNA because Naomi returned to the Royal Rumble, as a lot of people predicted and speculated online. She came out number 2, and there was just very little reaction for it. And is that because Naomi's not that popular, or because the crowd suck? You know, I'm thinking, wow, this is a return from, you know, a former champion. This wasn't like some schmuck who kind of just turned up. You know, this is a former WWE Women's Champion, and no one gave a shit. And that's sad. Obviously, there was some reaction, but it wasn't as loud as you were expecting, and they probably were expecting a bit louder. But Naomi lasted a total of 1 hour and 2 minutes, so she did have a really good run in there. Bayley then came out number 3. Obviously, she lasted 1 hour and 3 minutes because she won the fucking thing. Candice LeRae came out, nothing, silence, really no reaction. Then TNA Wrestling's Jordynne Grace came out. And, you know, at this point, you know, we're in number 5. You've seen Naomi come out, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is decent. And then Jordynne Grace came out, and I'm like, oh, very nice. You know, I've really enjoyed her stuff, really enjoyed her match on Thursday's Impact against Naomi for the Knockouts Championship, which was a rematch from their Hard to Kill pay-per-view match, which I thought was better. You know, she came in, she looked really good. She really did. She even got a reaction from the crowd. When she initially came out, not that big of a pop, but from that stance, I can understand. You know, TNA's viewed by 100,000 plus people a week. Obviously, with social media, that does rise in number of people who know who she is. But she got a respectable pop. Good on TNA for allowing her to wrestle here. Because even then, she could tick it off her bucket list if she always wanted to wrestle in a Royal Rumble match, which, you know, realistically every wrestler wants to kind of be in a Rumble and WrestleMania, you would think. So she got to go out there. So really good on TNA for doing that, and TNA is a company that is on the growth. So touch wood, since they've rebranded from the Impact Wrestling days, I feel like they have got some momentum, and that's nothing but positive for TNA. If you listen to this and you're a TNA fan, it really is a positive, because more eyeballs, and they said TNA Knockouts champion. So people might have been TNA's back, TNA's around, and gone on and typed in TNA Wrestling and went to their website. Oh, they're on Thursday still. Oh, they're there, and I'm going to watch it. Oh, they got TNA Plus. So that was really good free marketing, really, from TNA. So that's good work on them. Then Indy Hartwell came out number 6. Number 7, Asuka came out. And then there was this moment where Bayley's annoyed at Asuka. Right, and it makes sense storyline wise, because Bayley's like, no, I'm going to WrestleMania. Why are you coming in? Why are you trying to steal my spot? You've got the tag belts, you got the women's tag belts, which you won on SmackDown. Why are you getting? And fucking Pat McAfee is just there, and he's like, oh, I don't understand why you're working together. Fuck off. And that's not to be mean. I always really enjoy Pat McAfee on commentary. When he came out at the start of the show, I was happy, but it's like he didn't watch the last month's worth of TV. Ivy Niles number 8, Katana Chance number 9, Bianca Belair number 10, Kairi Sane number 11, Tegan Knox, Kaden Carter, Chelsea Green, Piper Niven. That was a really funny spot actually with Chelsea Green, when she got kind of knocked off the apron, and Piper Niven caught her, obviously their tag partners, and then Piper Niven tease dropping her, and I thought that was quite funny, quite a good spot. Xia Li came out, Selena Vega came out, Maxine Dupree. Obviously Maxine Dupree's not a veteran, she's not been wrestling as long as Natalya has, but definitely some work to do there. Nia Jax came out. I really enjoyed her elimination when she got dumped out by Jade Cargill later on in the match, especially because then Becky Lynch was just there smiling and grinning so much. I really liked that, and it just I really enjoyed that part, because, as I said, I really enjoy these kind of sub-stories that they've got going on in the women's division, where Becky Lynch and Jax have been kind of going at it for a while. So I was really happy about that. Shotzi was number 20, Becky Lynch number 21, Alba Fire was number 22, Shayna Baszler 23, Valhalla 24, she lasted 5 seconds, Michin was number 25, Zoe Stark number 26, Roxanne Perez 27, Jade Cargill, she probably got the best pop of the match, she came out number 28. Tiffany Stratton came out, she looked really great. She hit lots of really standard, usual great spots that she hits in NXT. She's going to do really well when she comes up to the main roster, I think, as long as they kind of book her right. And then Liv Morgan came out as number 30, she's returning. So the final 3 had Jade Cargill, Bayley, Liv Morgan. Bayley then obviously went on to eliminate both and win the Women's Royal Rumble match. I'm glad Bayley won, because Bayley hasn't won a Rumble yet, but it felt long. Obviously it is long, but sometimes these Rumbles can feel long, and this one to me felt quite long. But even though there was some good stuff in between, the stuff with Jax and Becky when Lynch on Raw said, the best moment of the Rumble is going to be when I see you lose, and Lynch is just stood there when Cargill throws out Nia Jax, and Lynch is just there laughing and smiling, and just see how pissed off Jax is going to be. So hopefully we then build that in towards the Elimination Chamber or an episode of Raw with Becky Lynch and Nia Jax. So from that standpoint, it was decent. Like, as a storyline Royal Rumble, I thought this was a good storyline Royal Rumble. There was no veterans returning. We didn't see Lita, we didn't see Trish, we didn't see Tori Wilson, we didn't see Michelle McCool, and I'm glad about that, because we see that all the time. We've seen that for the past few years. So they kind of brought in the Tiffany Stratton. They also done Roxanne Perez from NXT, and they got people from TNA to come in, and I like that. That to me is good. It was a very story-based driven Rumble. Naomi's come into the picture now. It'll be interesting to see if she's fully signed. I assume she will. I doubt she'll go back to TNA. But it is what it is. But Bayley won. Alright Rumble. It wasn't kind of, I'm not going to scream you have to watch this, but if you've been watching the story leading into it, I think there is some good points in there. And it's nice that we're not just getting returns for the sake of pops. Even though it would have been nice to have one. Actually, we've got Jordan Grace as a surprise, so we'll stick with Jordan Grace. Because there's only so many times you can get Trish Stratus and Lita there without it kind of meaning nothing. And then we had the World Championship on the line, the Undisputed Universal Championship on the line in a fatal 4-way. We had Roman Reigns defeating LA Knight, AJ Styles and Randy Orton via pinfall in just under 20 minutes. I thought this was decent. It was good. My prediction was wrong. I predicted Orton. So I predicted Orton versus Cody, Punk versus Rollins, and Roman versus Rock at WrestleMania. So I predicted that wrong, as always. Which I have no complaints about. The match was decent. Really good back and forth stuff. Everyone got in and hit that. You guys have seen the WWE Fatal 4-Way. You know, it's spots, spot, near fall, break up the pinfall. Finish came when Reigns hit the spear on Orton. Orton rolled out. LA Knight then hit his finisher on Roman Reigns. You're thinking 1, 2, 3. AJ Styles comes in, breaks that up, and then AJ gets hit with a spear from Reigns. Reigns retains. I'm glad they protected LA Knight, and obviously Randy Orton. Presumably will be going forward in a program with Reigns heading into Chamber in a one-on-one match. That's just my prediction because he didn't get pinned. And LA Knight obviously going to go on and doing stuff with Logan Paul at WrestleMania, kind of is the rumour going around there. But it was great. It was good. It wasn't fucking magnificent. It wasn't kind of get your knob out and wank yourself off great. It was good. It was good. That's the thing with this. There was nothing here that makes me scream with excitement like, that was so good. You know, that was just good. You know, and I'm not. That's not me complaining. It is good. When it's bad, I'll fucking tell you it's bad. This wasn't a bad match by any stretch of imagination, as it never would have been with the 4 wrestlers involved. But it just wasn't. There was no really big bite near falls. There wasn't a time when, as the match progressively went on, it kind of felt, Reigns is retaining this one. It kind of really didn't feel like anyone else was going to win, which my prediction, I even head into this one thinking, that's going to happen. When Reigns won and The Rock didn't come out, I'm thinking, okay, yeah, maybe we're going Cody here. My thinking, once Reigns won, my thinking was, right, we're either going to get Cody to win the Rumble and face Reigns, or The Rock's winning the Rumble and facing Reigns, because Punk could face Rollins without it. He doesn't need to win the Rumble. But it is what it is. And then we had Logan Paul defeating Kevin Owens via disqualification. Nice. But they protected Owens. So this guy came out. I had no idea who he was. Right, Jimmy or something. He came out at the end of this match. I have no fucking idea in this world who he is. Presumably one of these influencers that Logan Paul's kind of associated with. Presumably. And then he gave Logan Paul the brass knucks. Austin Theory saw and Grayson Waller then came out, gave Logan Paul the brass knucks. He went to hit Owens. Owens hit Logan Paul, covered 1, 2, and then as the ref was so close to hitting 3, he saw the brass knucks and rang the bell. And then post-match, Owen beat the fuck out of him. So you kind of, Logan gets to keep the championship and Owens is protected. He didn't take a loss. But the thing is, you're protecting Kevin Owens, but what the fuck is Kevin Owens doing next? You know, what is he going to be doing? You know, we're heading into Mania season. What is Kevin Owens going to be doing? What are a lot of these guys going to do? There's obviously certain matches that coming out of the Rumble, which again we'll get to. I don't know what Kevin Owens is going to do. I really, really don't. Last year, obviously, main evented Mania with Sami Zayn against the Usos, but what's he going to be doing this year? Time will tell. Hopefully they do a good job of building him, because he does, he's a really good wrestler and he's been there a long time now. It feels like a fucking eternity ago that we were watching him on Ring of Honor. Fuck you know, I'm old. Not really. But man, I really don't know. It didn't get me going. It was just good. It wasn't great. I really don't know why I feel this way. I usually, coming out of a show when it's good, I've got that buzz going about me, and when you guys watch good wrestling, you guys must know, that's really good, and you get this little buzz, this little kick, this little bit of adrenaline. I don't have it. I really don't. It's really strange. Then we had the men's rumble. Obviously, I literally just finished watching this 20 minutes ago now. So Jey Uso was the first one to enter, then Jimmy Uso was number 2. This was good, and it got a great reaction from the crowd. Probably one of the loudest they were all night. And the visual of Jey Uso's entrance, of everyone doing the yeet thing, I dug. So they surely got to go WrestleMania now. Uso versus Uso. Excuse me. They surely got to do that. There's no question now. They got to do Uso versus Uso WrestleMania, whether it's not this year, it's next year. But the iron's hot there. The crowd response was good, and this is from a crowd that wasn't that loud all night. So it would make a lot of logic sense to put these two together. That's just my point of view. That's what I'm going for. Main event: Uso against Jimmy Uso at WrestleMania. Then Grayson Waller came out. He tried doing a live Waller effect on the show, and then Andrade came out, formerly AEW's Andrade, as of a month ago. Again, he got an okay pop, not the best, but again, he was never a big star in AEW. No disrespect, he obviously had some good matches, but he was never a big star from that sense. And he obviously did stuff in NXT. He won the US Championship in WWE, so he does have some name and brand value, but he's not a mega star. He's not a CM Punk coming out. So we got an okay reaction, and I'm just hoping that he gets booked well, because AEW wasn't really, especially towards the end of his kind of, not career in AEW, but his stint in AEW, he was just kind of wrestling these random matches on Collision. He had a match on Pay-Per-View World's End, and I can't even remember who he wrestled. It just felt like they were having a wrestling match for the sake of having a wrestling match, and I couldn't give them two fucks about it. So hopefully they actually book Andrade well. They're actually pretty good at with the Lucha Libre wrestlers over there at the minute. They're building up Santos Escobar, and they got the LWO. So touch wood, he can do something with the LWO, maybe an Andrade versus Escobar match at WrestleMania. Not a bad shout. Then Carmelo Hayes from NXT came out. He lasted 17 minutes. He actually did a really great job in there. He was bumping around like a motherfucker for everyone. He did a really, really good job. And again, there was no kind of legend entries in this one, which we were all so used to in the Royal Rumble. One of the things you look forward to is seeing some of the guys you watched growing up, or some of the guys you've watched on the W Network or Peacock, whatever subscription service you watch, where you're going back and watching the classic stuff. There was none of that. You did have a few debuts, but most importantly, there was a lot of NXT call-ups. I say a lot, there was 2. There was 2, but they were both good. So from that instance, I'm fine with that. Nakamura was number 6. Really enjoying the stuff Nakamura's been doing recently, especially with his kind of the comics style feuds that he's had. I quite enjoyed his feud with Cody Rhodes on Monday Night Raw. And then we had Karrion Kross come out. This guy's been repackaged again. Santos Escobar come out, then Karrion Kross. This guy's been repackaged again. He came out to fucking silence. I mean silence. You could hear a fucking pin drop in there. You could hear the fucking guy in the toilet who's flushing the chain after blocking the fucking loo after having such a monster shit. You could hear that toilet flush. It was just no one gave a fuck. It's a shame because the guy is extremely talented, but he just needs time and actual investment from the company in the story with him. And towards, especially to fair to, we'll get to when Lashley comes out, there was something to do with him. Dominic Mysterio then came out. He lasted over half an hour. Then Carlito came out again, not the biggest pop, which you would think, but then obviously Carlito is a full-time wrestler now on SmackDown, so maybe that's why he didn't get the biggest pop. Lashley came out. He got a decent pop. He was in there for a minute and a half. He got eliminated by Bobby Lashley. And then the Authors of Pain came out. God, I bet everyone was so excited when the Authors of Pain got re-signed. I'm surprised I didn't make a video, to be honest. Authors of Pain are probably top 5 tag teams of all time. I'm joking. I couldn't give 2 fucks. Authors of Pain come out, they start brawling, and then the Street Profits come out, they start brawling on the ramp. We're building to a 6-man tag, which is absolutely fine. Maybe at WrestleMania, maybe at Chamber in Perth, who knows. But at least it was, again, a story, and we're doing something with Lashley, we're doing something with Cross. Does this mean we're going to get a one-on-one at WrestleMania, or we're going to get a 6-man tag? Who knows? The story may even be finished by then. This might conclude on a SmackDown, or like I said, at the Elimination Chamber in Perth in late February. But Lashley gets dumped out really quick, and you would think, oh, cross eliminated Lashley, that's a big thing, so hopefully they could build upon that. But Authors of Pain come out, and just no one cared really. Then Ludwig Kaiser came out, and his expression on his face when he was looking and saw the brawl. Obviously, his character, he's meant to be like a gentleman, a European, and he's just walking past, kind of looking down upon them in a really smug way. I thought that was quite funny. Austin Theory came out. Man, when are they gonna fucking pull the trigger on this dude? It fucking winds me up. He was this US champion, Money in the Bank flopped. He was WrestleMania with fucking He Who Must Not Be Named, Steve Austin, Pat McAfee. Like, he was in there, he's getting all these rubs. He did stuff with The Rock the other day. Like, this dude is getting all these fucking moments where it's to shine. And his wrestling is good. His physique is incredible. You can slap him on posters. He's an alright promo. Why aren't we really pushing this dude? Even when he was US champ, he was a joke. Failed Money in the Bank cash-in. What are we doing? Like, seriously, why are they not really pushing this guy? And really fucking winds me the fuck up. Then Finn Balor was 14. Cody Rhodes was number 15. He got all his pyro. Then Bronson Reed was 16. Another guy, really big guy who they should do stuff with because he's a really talented wrestler. Kofi came out, done nothing. I don't know if he got accidentally eliminated. I really don't know, by Gunther by accident. But he was in there 3.5 minutes. He didn't do any of his spots. He literally came in, fought with Gunther, because obviously Gunther and Kofi are wrestling each other on Monday Night Raw for the IC title, and then he got dumped out. That didn't do much for that championship match, did it? When Gunther's in there, and he lasted, let me check how long he lasted. So he was in the final 4, over half an hour. He was in the final 4. And he just done fucking jack shit. Being Kofi. Gunther came out 18. Ivar was 19. As I said on the Raw review, Ivar and Chad Gable put on an absolute belter on Monday. Go check that out for Raw if you haven't. He lasted not very long. But Bron Breakker was number 20. He came out, he looked great. He really did. He got 4 eliminations. He eliminated Finn Balor, which should have been a bigger deal. There was no massive pop from the crowd. You're Bron Breakker. You come in there, and there wasn't much reaction. There was like a little bit of dog barking. This is how it came across on TV and live in person. It might have been like a monster pop, but Bron Breakker come out. He looks phenomenal. He is really talented. And he come out there and he eliminated Ivar. Oh, he did this. Ivar went for a springboard enziguri, and in midair, Bron Breakker caught him with a spear, which looked fucking nice. Bron Breakker then threw out Ivar. He then threw out Finn Balor, and there was no. And he threw out Jimmy Uso. And it's kind of, and Omos at the end. Not at the end. Sorry, the next entrance. So 21 was Omos, and then 22 was Pat McAfee. He was in there for 30 seconds. He kind of got in, and then saw Omos and Bron Breakker stare down, and then just jumped out, which I thought was a funny spot. And it also built up both Bron Breakker and Omos, because these guys are so big that a normal dude goes in there, he's too scared. So that done a really good job building them up, and then Bron Breakker eliminated Omos, and then Dirty Dom eliminated Bron Breakker. So you got heat on Dom. In an ideal world, in a better loud audience, Bron Breakker eliminating Finn Balor would have got a monster pop. Eliminating Jimmy Uso would have got a big pop, and then a boo when Dom eliminated Bron. But Bron Breakker looked really good there. There was lots of stare downs there, especially him and Gunther, which again in a loud crowd would have been electric. That's something I want to see at WrestleMania: Bron Breakker versus Gunther. I think that would be great for both. Imagine Bron Breakker comes into WWE, get his first WrestleMania match, he wins the IC title, breaks the longest reigning Intercontinental Championship run of all time. He's now a made man, and Gunther's already a made man, and he can then go off and do things up in the main event scene. JD Madonna was number 23, lasted 3 seconds. R-Truth was 24. He came in and he thought it was a tag match, so he got the crowd doing the clapping for the tag, the hot tag, and then he finally got the hot tag, came in. I thought that was funny. Miz was 25. Priest was 26. Why he's in there, I don't know. Punk was lucky number 27. Ricochet 28. McIntyre 29. And number 30 was Sami Zayn. So yeah, there's no kind of big surprises there in the final 10. But your final 6, you had Zayn, McIntyre, Gunther, Punk, Cody, and McIntyre. So you kind of had 6 big names who were potential of winning the thing. Zayn and McIntyre were all night crazy because McIntyre's the one who took Sami Zayn out. So storyline purposes, that they were all going at it. McIntyre then dumped out Sami Zayn. He dumped out Ricochet just before that. So McIntyre did look good there. And then McIntyre got dumped out. Gunther got dumped out, and you're down to Cody and Punk. And I tell you what, one good thing about this Rumble was, because obviously I watched this post live, right? So I wasn't watching it live. When Punk and Cody were left, we were kind of like 3 hours 40 in, and it still had 18 minutes left. So I'm thinking, okay, either these guys are going to tell a really good long story here, or someone's going to come out. Someone obviously being The Rock. So I'm now watching this going, oh, and my intrigue level was really intrigued. And the men's Rumble was the best match of the night, in my opinion. It was a good Rumble. Storyline wise, there was no kind of big debuts. Like there wasn't none. No disrespect to Andrade, but there wasn't none. But there was some call ups, which is important. You have a chance at a Rumble with a lot of eyeballs to really establish, and both Bron Breakker and Carmelo Hayes both looked really good. So that's a win. But Punk and Cody, like I said, there was about 80 minutes left on my network stream. So then, they go at it back and forth. Cody hits the crossroad, Punk's hit the GTS, and then Punk shouts in the camera, I didn't wait 10 years to lose to Dusty's kid. That then pissed off Cody, then hit the crossroads and dumped Punk out. Cody Rhodes wins the Rumble. That was it. He then pointed at the Mania sign and the show just ended. The show went to a 5-minute highlight video of the whole night. So I'm sat there, Cody won, and there's 10 minutes left on my stream. And I'm like, fuck, I wasted 10 minutes of my life, I can't go back. Because, I'm waiting and waiting. I'm like, 10 minutes, something's got to happen. What's going to happen? And I'm kind of waiting and anticipating. Obviously, if you're watching it live, you don't have that luxury because you don't know when the show's going to end. But I was kind of waiting, when's it going to go? When's it going to come? Who's going to come out? Who's going to do it? He's going to do it. And then no one turned out. They just did a fucking 19-hour long video package to close it up, basically highlighting the Rumble, the show you already paid for to watch. But yeah, there you go. So we're going to obviously get Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns, Punk versus Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. I think The Rock Roman, I think they'll wait and save that for next year. I think while the iron's hot, you got to strike. Cody Reigns, it'll deliver. It'll be a great match, and that fans are going to want to see it. And the crowd was split between Punk and Cody until towards the end of it, and then they all rooted for Cody because obviously Punk was playing the heel role during the kind of final sequence. But as a whole, it was an alright Rumble. It wasn't bad. The actual full event, it wasn't a bad show. It just wasn't spectacular, and I had expectations. And it's been a while since I've had expectations for a W show because I thought Raw was good on Monday, so I thought, maybe we are. And obviously the news about Netflix and Raw coming to Netflix, I thought maybe that they're gonna really try and make some positive energy come from this event. Obviously what's been going on which is a fucking disgrace, which I'm not going to talk about on this channel. I'm sorry anyone who kind of wanted a video on He Must Not Be Named. I'm not gonna be one of those YouTubers who's gonna try and gain views from a disgraceful thing that's happened, so I'm not even going to warrant it with a conversation, to be honest with you. Guys, a piece of dirt. That's all I'm going to say for it. But yeah, a Rumble that is alright. If you have a spare fucking 19 hours, give it a watch. The show was 4. And you can skip. There's quite a lot of promo packages after Logan Paul. So realistically, actual wrestling time, you're probably looking at about 3 hours, so you can kind of trim that. If you don't have much time, you're kind of thinking, do I have time to watch it? But it is a Royal Rumble, so it's important to watch on the road to WrestleMania now. I honestly thought when I turned that on this morning, I had that feeling like, this is going to be good. This, I sat there, I thought, this is going to be fucking good. I'm looking forward to this. And then just as the show went on, I just kind of lost the will to live. It wasn't bad, and that's the thing. I'm so fucking confused because the show wasn't bad. The stories were good. The stories made sense. There was nothing wrong with it. I just feel very kind of underwhelmed. It's probably the best way to say. I felt they under-delivered because of the expectations in my fucking brain. So you may have watched this and had 0 expectations and thought that was really good actually. And I think that's how a lot of these times these wrestling shows work. Because when you, especially with anything, even like for example food, you know, if someone goes to you, oh, this, I'm gonna cook you dinner tonight, and we got this, and this. You've never had it before. It's absolutely fucking amazing. It's one of the best meals you've ever eaten in your life. You sit down, you're like, oh, that was alright. Whereas if that person's like, oh, I'll just cook you a dinner, it won't be much, and you put it out and you go, oh, that wasn't just alright, that's really good, because the expectations in your brain were lower. So always under promise and over deliver. I think that's something that on the Eric Bischoff podcast thing he says, I've heard him say a lot, under promise and over deliver. So that I wasn't over promised. I think I fucked myself over by talking about it, doing a podcast on the preview and predictions video where I was kind of, I think with those preview and predictions video, because you really dive in, I really dived into about what my potential fantasy book WrestleMania outcome would look like, and you kind of really get interested in it, really invested, and that made me care, and that made me like, actually, you know what, they could do this, and then you kind of, your creative juices are flowing, you're like, oh, this could be really fucking good, and then bam, you're kind of like, oh, none of what I said would happen happened. And yeah, great. Please let me know, everyone, in the comments. Please let me know what you thought about this show, because I really want to see what everyone else thought. Whether I'm being, I hope I'm not the only negative person on here. But in the end of the day, I give my opinion on what I watched. I won't ever kind of take a side. I won't take a company stance. You can see, there's been New Japan reviews, TNA reviews, AEW stuff, and WWE stuff. So there's kind of no in this week alone. So there really is no kind of just one company. It's just wrestling. If it's good, I'll tell you it's good. If it's bad, I'll tell you it's bad. But overall, that's my thumbs in the middle, I think is the best way to describe it. It's my WWE 2024 Royal Rumble review show. I want to thank you guys if you've watched the Raw review as well as the preview and predictions video. It really is appreciated. Really do want to thank you. But for this has been LK from the SOS Wrestletalk. Hope you have a great Sunday. Make sure you stay safe, make sure you stay well, and I'll be catching your asses down the line.